Good morning, AG Squared here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install gutter guards. In particular, the particular type I'm going to show you right above this video. Now, why are some of the reasons you would want to consider installing gutter guards? First, it's because it prevents a lot of debris from clogging up on your gutters. Now, this has two key benefits. The first benefit is with less debris, you have a lot less weight that could over time cause your gutters to become loose from the attachment that it's on the siding. And second, it just causes a more smooth flow of water, causing less potential clogs on your downspouts. Now, for this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is. Really, you only need a few things besides a ladder. One is this tool. Typically, this tool you find in hardware stores like Home Depot to be able to remove those pins in your door hinges. But these are going to come very useful. If you don't have one of these available, consider just using basic pliers. And then after that, all you need is a ladder and the gutter guards. So let's get to it and let me show you how I do this. All right, team. So here is the house where I'm going to do the gutter work. The first thing I want to show y'all are the gutters themselves. Here they are. I'm a big fan of these. They're not too expensive. They're also not cheap. These are metal mesh gutter guards. And you can see here, I'm going to turn it over. You see how they work. They've got this little indentation curvature. This is what's going to go right on the edge of our gutters. They're kind of go something like this. Okay, they're actually going to go more like this way. And I'll show you all a little closer once I get up on these gutters how I put them. But these are great. They're going to last you. And then they do keep, because the holes are quite small, most of the debris out. And over time, and they're also really easy to take in and out. Some gutter guards, once you install them, they're a huge pain to remove. So let me show you all the steps that I do to install these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down here my supplies. But the first thing is to get some gloves and clean out your gutters. If you're going to be putting gutter guards on, you don't want the gutters to be clogged up already, filled with debris. So I've got my gloves on. I'm going to go up this ladder here. And let's show you all what we got. Okay, so lots of debris. I'm just gonna go part by part and just start removing all this debris out of here. Oh my goodness, there is so much dirt and soil on this thing. I am shocked that this was even draining at all. In fact, it probably wasn't, to be honest. So I'm just gonna keep on removing all this stuff here, y'all. So much debris. Now, I'm not gonna do it for this video, and I'm probably not gonna do it for this house, but let me make sure y'all can see. Here is the entry to the, ultimately what feeds water down into the downspout. What I might encourage is to hire someone, or if you have a hose, it might be worthwhile to just flush this, because once you put on the gutter guards, you're not going to be able to really clean your downspouts and make sure that it's free of any clogs and debris. So just keep that in mind. If you really want to do this right, make sure you either hire someone or for you to just make sure that that's draining really well. All right, I really just like to get rid of enough dirt from the right to the left so that it can make it pretty easy for me to put in an entire gutter guard. And while I'm up here, I'm just going to continue removing as much of this as I can. Since I'm up here already, might as well. Okay, grab some more. This makes me a little sad seeing how clogged up this is. Like I said, with all this dirt here, what happens is the water probably won't drain at all. It'll just get soaked up. All the dirt will get heavier because of all the water being soaked up. Now you've got nothing but a bunch of weight on your gutters. And you can see, I mean, all your gutters are just held up by these brackets screwed into the siding. You've got many of them all throughout, but over time, with so much weight, I mean, that stuff's just gonna potentially get loose and come off. And with water not flowing and draining at all, really what's gonna happen is you're gonna start getting the water to overflow. Well, it's just gonna probably overflow right next to your siding and potentially cause water damage. So just make sure, you know, even if you don't put in your gutter guards, this is why you want to either do your own gutter cleaning or hire someone to do this once a year at least, depending on how many leaves and trees and debris you have. All right, this is the last batch I'm going to be able to get here. And again, if you're going to spend the time to do this, like, you know, use your best judgment. Take a look at the way mine looks. Is it perfect? No. Am I happy with it? Yeah, I am. Just going to get rid of this stick here. Okay. Got maybe about 6 to 7 feet of clean gutter. Now that we've done that, let's get our gutter. Now, let me go up and I'll show you how to install this specific type of gutter. Okay. So like I said, here is that groove. So whatever direction you're installing this, whether it's left to right or right to left, this groove is what's going to create the overlap with the next gutter. So I'm installing these right to left, so I want this to be on the left side. And also, the grooves are going to tell you exactly what direction you can install this, because that's the groove's just going to go right in between this cleavage right here, right? So what I like to do is, first and foremost, you got to get the gutter beneath the shingles. Don't just simply install it over the shingles. That's not going to be good enough. So what I do here is I lift the shingles just a little bit up, and these are 3-layer shingles, so just be careful not to rip them. Kind of get them inside of your shingles here, and I like to push them in. So here you can see I've got some gap in there, and that's okay. I just want to make sure that my gutter can move, my gutter guard can move freely left and right while being underneath all the shingles. That's what you want to look for. This is beautiful. Now with my tool, I'll just kind of poke a hole in one of these and use it to like push this back. And what I'm doing here is now just aligning the groove right in between the gap I have on the guard. Take a look at this one. I just align it in between and push in. And now you see the coverage the way it's supposed to look, all the way flush, but over it and extending. Now, again, the nice thing about this is you really are able to get this in there. And again, my goal here is push it all the way down there. Make sure you're good. Now, here's going to be an interesting piece here. This is not a good gutter thing. If all my gutters are not going to be long enough, I'm going to need to go Home Depot and buy a longer one. I'm going to try to install some of the other ones. Some of the other ones look a little closer. This might just be an anomaly where this one's just not going to be good. You want the edge to really go deep inside so that you have some support and weight. So for this one, I'm going to do is I'm not going to get it fully all the way up to the groove. I'm going to lift it and just prioritize getting it less hooked on the gutter and just more hooked up on the there you go, underneath the shingle. Okay, there, that's as good as I'm gonna get that, I think. So let me show you all now how to put in the second one. Yeah, I've got enough room to put in the second one. All right, I'm gonna inspect these because these actually were removed from an older house. I had a tree that fell on it, so I want to make sure it looks good enough quality. Okay, so again, as we said, here is the little gap you see there on this one. This one I'm going to install with the gap on the left side. And again, I'm going to start feeding this through the underneath the shingles, but putting it over the flashing. That's important. And then you can see I've got it over. I'm pressing down on it. I can tell that it's good enough. It's got the support underneath the shingles, and it's kind of getting close to the curve here. So I'm going to use my tool here, press down, and then I'm just going to push to the right. And I'm just going to make sure I have complete overlap. This is what you want. Like if I pull back, notice how you start seeing more white here. There is a hole there. But as I push forward, I seal that gap off. Now, important when you're pushing it into it that you don't move your other one and dislocate it. So just keep an eye on that as you're doing it. And then I'm going to start pushing with this tool closer to the guard. So all I'm doing is I'm feeding it into the hole, and then I'm pushing towards me. And this one is in a better spot. I do sense that this one is good. It's still definitely right on, kind of like the. If I was to do this again, I'd buy a longer gutter guard that goes a little deeper into here. So my recommendation here is always measure before you buy your gutter guards. What is the gap between your full outer edge here all the way through the metal flashing that's underneath your guards right here. That's going to tell you how big of a gutter guard you do. Now the fun part about this job team is now that I've done two, you can do all of them. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of the gutter guard all the way through the house. Oh, look at that. Gross. After some cleaning, look at that. We can see the metal. And those gutter guards are going to help us keep it clean. Oh yeah. Alright team, as I'm putting on these gutters, I noticed that this was really loose. And here's a culprit. As you can see, this thing here isn't even screwed in. That's just terrible work by whoever was doing this. So what I'm going to have to do here is get it screwed in properly. So I'm going to remove this gutter guard, throw it up on the roof, and just make sure that we install this right this time around. That really pisses me off. They didn't even do this thing right. We're going to see if we can get it in there. And I've got these tools here to help find the right size. And so let's see, it's a little smaller than that. Let's try this one here next. Alright, it looks like that one might do the trick here. Let me see, maybe I can try a smaller one. Alright, there we go. Trying to see if. Alright, looks like that'll do the trick. Alright, so let's get the drill in there. Alright, nice and tight. And let's try to see if we can get this screwed in. Alright. Alright. Looks like that did get a little in there. Much better than what it was before, that's for sure. Alright, y'all, so some of the things as you're doing your gutter guards installation that might go right. So now I'm definitely happier about that. I'm going to see if I can tighten some more though. And I'm just going to continue doing my gutter cleaning. I'm not sure how good this looks but on the video, but hopefully y'all can see I start getting some gap separations over there, which I might want to go back over and fix. But a lot of that was caused because of some of these anchors being so loose. So we'll continue the work here. Make sure the gutter guards are nice and flush throughout the whole installation, so that things don't just continue getting in there. So here's another tip as we're installing these gutter guards up here, as y'all can see over there. Nothing to keep in mind is sometimes, even though the ones I'm using simply just slide into the grooves, they might want to slide out. They might not be fully square. And so if you do find that they're not really holding well, what I recommend is to buy these gutter screws. And it's as easy as sliding them in between one of the mesh gaps and just screwing it into the gutter. And that's going to give you a much tighter hold. All right, and once you get to a corner, these ones are, the end corners are really easy. All you got to do is measure how much remains that you have to cover. Once you get that measurement, you walk over here to your tools. And to be able to cut these, I actually don't know what this tool is called, so I'm gonna have to look it up and then show you all the link to buy it. But this cutter here works wonders. You can already see here, I've already started cutting it. So it's as simple as put it in, cross it in, make the cut. And then you'll have that to be able to finish up the end corner piece. And if you've got now of course, if you've got one of those gutters that gets connected and creates a 90-degree angle, you're gonna have to get creative and make some 45-degree cuts so that you can unify those elegantly. Luckily for me, I don't have to do that, so I won't be able to show y'all how to do